Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We are live from the Center for the Arts at Kayenta, as you can see on your screen. Perhaps the luckiest organization. I'm very lucky to be a part of them. The Center for the Arts at Kayenta is run by people whose philosophies are made of art. We think in art, we feel in art, we make art with art. We try to have people on this show that can talk the walk and also walk the talk. So we're going to have musicians and a magician tonight as well. I hope you're doing well in this afternoon of May during this COVID-19 crisis. We do need your support. The Center for the Arts at Kayenta and every arts center is sustaining pretty critical damage at this time without the ability to gather. And we're going live for the foreseeable future every weekend to bring you the best, the brightest that we can find. I'm very lucky to be introducing you to a woman who started writing music 15 years ago. Her name is Christina Osborn. I met her through my best friend in high school, Eric Osborn, her brother. Every member of that family is a musician. And Christina put albums out that helped me grow up. We're very lucky to have her on today. She's streaming in from Oregon, Portland, Oregon. And we're going to talk about the songs that were very influential for me, for her. We'll play a few for you. I'll cover one of her songs. The first 25 minutes or so is going to be all about words. The second half hour, her new group, the Wules, will demonstrate the power of traditional folk music without words. It's going to be a very interesting balance. We're going to go into the lyrics, and then we're going to go into simply the emotions. After that, we're going to have Jonah LaVelle on. Jonah's an up-and-coming magician and theater practitioner in St. George. But we're going to talk about his big plans for the future and possibly the future of American theater. So, looks like the viewership has gone up pretty significantly. We now have about 21 people watching. So, I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite songwriters. I'm going to switch over the screen. Christina Osborn. She is live from Portland.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Christina.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good. It is really an honor to be on the show and to have you say all those nice things about me.
We're just getting started. So, I want to start by going through some of your lyrical content. I've shown your songs to people, and they don't believe what's coming out of the speakers because it talks about their life, it talks about someone they know, or it talks about a feeling that they have so clearly. Like your words seem to illustrate people's subjective and uncomfortable thoughts about some things. I'm talking about songs that it might have been hard to write or easy to write after you experienced the inspiration for them. I guess that's something I want to ask first. Is which one of those processes brings about music for you more? Is it writing in the studio? Is it a happy time remembering the bad times, or maybe a happy time remembering the happy times? But
it so depends on the song. A lot of the songs on the last album were things that came about because of periods of grief and stuff that had happened. Me trying to articulate and deal with my own feelings. And some of it was simply, I was just thinking about something, and like America it was the 4th of July, and I just sat down and was writing. Was just thinking about the 4th of July. Yeah.
If it's okay with you, I'd like to hear America.
Oh, sure.
And do some discussion about it afterward. And I'm sure there might be a lot of discussion. I invite people to comment on the show, on the Facebook feed. I'll see it from here. But this is a song that really, it made me think, and I hope it makes you think too.
Cool.
You gonna play it?
Yeah, this is my my partner and fellow Wool, Michael Cullinan, by the way, everybody.
So what does wool mean? We just have to get that out of the way, I think.
A wool is a mysterious creature. It is from beyond the stars. They're large, fluffy, pizza-loving creatures with shimmering eyes and huge, dangerous teeth and claws that glitter gold in the moonlight. And they draw dreams out of people, and they weave them together, and then they eat the dream web. That's their food. So yeah, they're usually black or the occasional white, very rare white wool has been spotted.
How do we observe these creatures?
You know, you just have to be constantly vigilant, and you might get very lucky. They're rare. You have to be studied on foggy nights. The Northwest is very foggy, so we've seen a few of them since I've been up here. I've seen a few of them.
So
keep your eyes peeled on foggy nights.
So really stay vigilant, and you might be lucky enough to meet a wool, which happens to be the name of your group with Michael. And that's the meaning, isn't it? Is that they're big, scary creatures, and then you say, "Well, how do I meet one?" And then it's you.
Yeah, and yeah.
Okay, well, you look normal to me, but anyway, when did this song that you're about to play, America, come out?
The album came out in 2014, but I wrote the song in 2012, I think. I was 22.
I remember you playing it in your living room for all of us and the whole family. And
I think I probably just had written it. It was like one of the first times I played it.
That's when it really struck me. And it continues to strike me. But without further ado, Christina Osborn with America.
All right. Gonna take my headphones off for this. Every morning, that's what the fireworks are saying in the dark. We never knew the reason really, but occasion strikes a spark. America, that person doesn't live here anymore. Is this who we're fighting for? Do we still believe in what the fathers lit the torches for? Do we care that all our children grow up refugees of war? Oh, America, your flags are burning bright on every shore. It's not worth it anymore. We can't follow the stain from the shadows of slavery and pain. We've got fire in our blood. I pray to God that there's a heaven above.
Hey, Christina.
Let freedom bring back the excuse that we've been using all these years. And if we dream we follow Christ, then all our boys will be right here in America. Move and you with tapestry of peace. We came, but the same from the shadows of slavery and pain. We've got fire in our blood. I pray to God that there's a heaven above.
Told us it was really, you played it really well.
Yeah, you actually did play it really well. Can you hear me?
You said it cut in and out. Yeah, we can hear you all right.
So it's like with every little volume shift, your microphone or something is making it all mucky. It ranges from very clear at moments to very, very mucky.
Man, you'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, our sound usually works really well when we're doing the radio show.
When we did the sound check yesterday, was it the same setup exactly?
Similar.
Yeah.
We're using a different computer though.
Yeah, but we use the computer every week.
Well, now it's even happening when you're talking.
Really?
Yeah. Huh.
It
Well,
might be our internet connection. We have a really poor connection right now.
do you have the opportunity to move? Well, not really move, but could you have a landline connection?
Oh, like an Ethernet?
No, we don't have any.
don't.
Oh boy, what are they doing out there in Portland? Well, if we can figure anything out, I'm going to take a little time to talk about a song and I'll try to talk about it with you if you're not too busy figuring out the sound. This is one that I play for people. We're going to go back to America, I think, a little later. But let me just change the camera to me.
Microphone. Okay, I just turned the microphone settings down. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, it's still having the same issue.
That's weird.
I wonder. Chris, is there a thing happening where
Yeah, well, that's better.
it's like fading? It's like fading out and fading in and fading out, sort of.
It's whenever you get a tad louder than whatever was happening before, it turns really mucky, like there's no high end.
It's
Yeah, it's happening right now. It's really fun.
How'd you do that?
I did. It just fell off.
It doesn't twist like that unless you.
I like touched it. We should switch to the other microphone stand.
For everyone watching who does the arts, you know that this is what you come to the theater for. This is what you come to the concert for. When everything stops working and you have to let the band play from the stage without any amplification. But
we are currently our mic stand. It's this articulated like bending arm microphone stand, and it has totally left its stand. So hang on.
Christina, I'm gonna mute you guys for a minute.
We're done, by the way.
Oh, you're done?
There you go.
What is going on? We gotta get all this stuff sorted out before
I know.
next week.
It also might just be this. We've never used StreamYard or TuneYard. Is that what we're using?
Did you could you go into the menu and disable audio processing?
StreamYard is the name of the website.
Oh, is that what it's called? Here, let's switch back to Chris.
Christina?
Okay. You see us, Chris?
You muted us.
No, I didn't mute you yet.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Well, they can't hear me.
Are you still there?
I'm still here. You here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hello?
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 Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you go into the menu and turn off audio processing?
Turn off audio
Sure.
process. Which menu?
I know where it is. If I can ever see the mouse again.
This is not going that well.
Oh, it's all right. It's all good fun.
Audio.
There we go. Ah, there we go. What is the point of this setting if you always have to turn it off? Hey, Chris. Okay, audio processing is off currently.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Yo. Put this in.
are we coming
One.
through any better now?
Christina, do you want to start America again and see if that works?
Sure.
I'll yell at you if it
Give it
doesn't.
another try, yeah.
Might want to unplug your
Yeah,
headphones.
let me, you just wave your arms if it doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna try this again, everybody. Song's called America.
Now that is what I'm talking about.
It's working. All right.
Mute just the microphone so it's not blocking my face. Let freedom ring, that's what the fireworks are saying in the dark. We never need a reason, really, but occasion strikes a spark. America, that person doesn't live here anymore. Is this who we're fighting for? Do we still believe in what the fathers lit the torches for? Do we care that all our children grow up refugees of war? America, your flags are burning bright on every shore. It's not worth it anymore. We came puddled and stained from the shadows of slavery and pain. We've got fire in our blood. Pray to God that there's a heaven up above. The greatest loss is we've forgotten how to find out who we are. And as for what the future holds, well, no one looks ahead that far. America, you're shining with the luster of a dying star. We came puddled and stained from the shadows of slavery and pain. We've got fire in our
Thank you, Christina. That was America by Christina Osborn off of the album These Are the Blues. And that album came out in 2014, you said?
Ooh, it's been a while since I played that song live.
Can you hear me, Christina?
Yeah, hello.
Okay. You said that album came out in 2014?
Mm-hmm.
What was happening for you when you wrote it in 2012?
I was living at a little house on, I think 200 East, 200 West, just below the library. I lived basically across from the library in St. George. And I was living with my friend Larry and another friend who was a songwriter, also Jack Sevens. He was known by several other names, Spencer Knoxville, Spencer Knox, Jack. He has like had a variety of names. So he was my roommate, and he was somebody that I admired who wrote songs, and we played together a couple times, I think, but he inspired me a lot early on as a songwriter. And I was just kind of like trying my hand at it. I was just like, what would happen if I wrote some songs, you know? And
So, trying your hand brings us lyrics like, let freedom ring, that's what the fireworks are saying in the dark.
yeah,
when-
just try it, you know?
When
You don't know it'll come out.
well, when we think of fireworks, we think of them in the dark, but you never have to say in the dark. Was that a thought for you? That of course we do fireworks at night, but was
Yeah,
it
I never thought about that lyric.
really?
Yeah, I think there's like sometimes there's just some lines I go over and over again and I tweak them and change them and stuff, but it's not usually based on like, oh, this has to be logical in the real sense of the word. There's
No.
song logic, you know, that just when you're making something and it's never been made before, only you and whatever forces that you're working with are gonna sort of decide how it comes out. So yeah, it's like more about getting it right, whatever that means. And that could be a totally illogical word salad, but if it makes sense emotionally or in terms of what the song's trying to accomplish, then you win. It makes
So,
sense.
let freedom ring, that's what the fireworks are saying. Wow, we've got a great American anthem or something. Let freedom ring, that's what the fireworks are saying.
You'd think that.
In the dark. That introduces the theme for the whole song, and it blows my mind that it was just kind of passively written.
Well, I did just spend 4 years in high school learning how to write, you know, introduction, body, conclusion of essays. So maybe it like stuck in my mind.
I like that. We never really need, what was it? We never, freedom ring, that's what the fireworks are saying in the dark. Then
We
what?
never need a reason, really.
Never need a reason. That stings. That stings to not, to think that we've lost the reason to celebrate. And that's what it means to me. That's always meant that to me. What do you, what was it for you?
Actually, the thing I thought of in that line was that people are often. I was thinking about the emptiness of American holidays, and how it's so. I love Christmas and I like the 4th of July and I like all that stuff, but it's so empty and there's very little like spiritual meaning behind it for lots of people, or like even beyond that, there's like religious meaning, but so much of it is just bound up in consumerism, and it isn't about like baking, you know, or there's not like food rituals. I mean, there are, but it's like it just everything. It's so much about consumerism and less about the things that are underlying the tradition in itself, the celebration. And it's funny because like as I'm saying this, I'm thinking that kind of the meaning behind any of those holidays is like an excuse to get together. And I think that's what I was trying to say, was that it is really empty, a lot of these consumer-bound holidays, but at the same time, we don't necessarily need a reason to get together and have a party, but the occasion, the special thing, it gives us a reason to do that. And would we otherwise? Would we gather together and give thanks or whatever if we didn't have a holiday for it? So it's like sort of a double meaning. It's like it's meaningless, but would we do it otherwise?
And then we've got America. That person doesn't live here anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious.
America Vespucci, the guy that discovered the...
He's long gone, man.
Yeah, the Italian... obviously, the
yeah.
lyric is about the lack of Italian presence in...
Oh, yeah, in St.
In-
George. Yeah,
yeah,
there's not
in
enough
St. George.
Italians in St. George by far. Where are all the Italians? No, I just think the American dream is, I mean, it's such a different thing to every single person. It's so, it's completely fragmented. It doesn't, and it's changing. It's like the story that we used to have is dead, and the story that's emerging is not emerged yet. It's emerging, and so we don't know what the story is. We're writing it right now.
If I had to plug your music with that, it would just be... We've been talking about 3 lyrics for 5 minutes, and that's the only song about... Or maybe you have more songs about nationalism. Well, I'm curious, do you? Or is this really your only foray into civilization as a whole?
Oh, I mean, you could really...
Or culture
There's probably
itself?
a lot of people in a lot of countries that feel the same way about
Probably.
this, about their own country. I think it's more the idea of some sort of like group of people that stands in a cluster and draws a line around themselves and then gives themselves a name.
Well said. Always well said from you. I wish we could go through every lyric, but I feel like we should give the people a little more music.
Let's do it.
So my CD player mysteriously stopped working. I was going to play a recording of your song, I Am Afraid. Is that something that you play ever solo?
No, I mean, like once in a while I'll just bust it out to show to some people. Like I wrote this song once, here it is, but it's like just a rare occurrence these days.
I'm not pressing you. I'm just asking if this is one of those such rare occurrences.
No.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of that song was produced at Spiral Studios in St. George, and I don't know if anybody remembers Spiral Studios.
Sure, we all remember Spiral
I
Studios.
hope everybody does, because it was
Yeah.
really great, and a lot of good music came out of there. And I was lucky to be one of the people that recorded an album there, and with Steve and Ryan. And it was such a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And you played, well, Jake Shepard, who's been on this live stream
Oh, really?
before. Yeah, he played the electric guitar on a few of those songs, right?
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
one of them. I think he played on the Don't Let It Bring You Down. He did a really awesome solo on that, and he like used a slide on his electric guitar. It was really cool.
We'll be having him on.
Shit.
Oh, we will definitely be having Jake
Sorry
Shepard
for
on
swearing
again.
online on your show, Chris.
It's
Sorry.
okay. All right. I thought it might be appropriate, if it's okay with you, for me to play you the song from your catalog that I usually play the most.
I would love that. That is really amazing.
All right. This is You're My Angel. Your demons were talking to mine, and you prayed like you were calming something down that you needed to find. And you broke with your traditions, even while you were breaking inside, and you played it into something beautiful, into someone beautiful. You clear my mind like a sunset over cane beds, honey. You free my doubt like a herd of wild horses running. You smooth my brow like a seashell and all of its wanderings. You hold my hand like you're my mother, like you're my sister, like you're my friend, like you're my child, like you're my angel. You are my angel. You're my angel. You are my angel. Late December, driving out of the valley. Must have been thinking now, what have I done? 'Cause we made a promise to each other, always be there, but not to hold on. So you stay standing in the river, hands thrown up to the falling snow, and you waited till I came sailing home. You clear my mind like a sunset over cane beds, honey. You free my doubt like a herd of wild horses running. You smooth my brow like a seashell and all of its wanderings. You hold my hand like you're my mother, like you're my sister, like you're my friend, like you're my child, like you're my angel. You are my angel. You're my angel.
Oh, it's beautiful, Chris.
What is the story of that song, Christina?
I was with a man for 4 years, and it was a really, really special relationship and a really a really transformative time of my life. I feel like I grew up a lot and during that time. And and that was just a song for him that I wrote towards the end, actually. It was kind of I think I just needed to tell him, like, I just really felt a lot of love for him. Even though it, our relationship ended not that long after that. I still care a lot about that person, so. Yeah.
Sorry, I was dealing with something technical back here. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for playing that. That was really cool.
Sure. I'm always wondering how you come up with these metaphors. You clear my mind like a sunset over cane beds. I mean, maybe you saw a sunset over cane beds.
Well, and he had land in cane beds, and so
Okay.
we spent a lot of time there. And it's a special place. I have some good friends there. It's just beautiful out there. It's out towards Colorado City. It's past Colorado City on the, whatever that highway is, 378 or 389. 389, I think.
Mhm.
That you go out to Hilldale in Colorado City, and then Cane Beds is a village that's just past there. And it's just incredible sunsets and sagebrush. It's really pretty.
So I'm wondering if you guys can see the comments on Facebook.
Oh, we're gonna switch over and take a look right now. Here, go to the search
Elise
bar.
West says hi. Oh, and someone
Elise
named
West.
Yeah,
Hi, Elise West.
someone named Ruth Osborn
Oh, that's my auntie.
says "I Am Afraid" is one of my absolute favorites of Christina's work.
Oh. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. It's really awesome. Is it this right here?
I put out a feeler for some questions, but I think we've kind of already covered a lot of that. There was this one question, though, that I got from someone on Instagram that was really interesting to me. And it was for you, because I told people I was doing a thing with you tonight. And this is a perfect question, actually, to ask right now. What type of pulse does it give an artist to listen to the music they've created? Power? Love?
It's a great question. I
Probably
think
a bit
it's
of both.
different for every artist.
Yeah.
I know Bob Dylan said he never listened to his own music.
Mm.
And I know some people that dude from Tiger King, he said he listened to his own music all the time. So it's like, they're both geniuses. Just got to pick which camp you're in, I guess.
Shout out to Tiger King.
Yeah, shout out to, what's his name?
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Anyway, feel bad that guy's
So-
in prison and all that. But I personally go long periods without listening to my music. When I first make it and I listen to it, it's usually pretty uncomfortable. Unless I'm really in love with it at that moment.
Mhm.
If I'm like working on it and I'm listening to recordings or something. That's one thing, but it always changes. Like if I go years in between listening to recordings, I definitely have a different experience based on where I'm at in my life. And so I think in some ways it's like listening to my own song in a way is like listening to somebody else's song after a certain period of time has passed, as it just sort of becomes like something that somebody else made, because I'm not who made that song anymore.
Gotcha.
It's kind of interesting.
So we've talked a lot about the words and the songwriting and all that. We've got a group here, the Wules. Now,
The Wules.
what are the Wules about?
Oh, say that again.
What are the Wules about?
Evil train music, dreams. Michael, do you want to speak somewhat to this?
Maybe the question isn't so much what are the Wules about, but why are the Wules about?
We can't
Where?
hear Mike,
Where?
probably because he's like far
here
away
it
from the
comes
microphone.
closer. There we go.
Turn the
But
microphone.
probably between you would be better anyway.
Or
So you
where?
said not what are the Wules about, but why?
Where are the Wules about? Is
Hold on,
another
we're
opportunity.
gonna get like a
Oh,
crazy
yeah,
delay.
turn
Hold
that
on.
off.
There we go. I just wanted to see the comments.
She's trying to watch the live stream at the
I
same
want to
time
watch
as,
the live stream.
as creating it. Doesn't work that way. No, we just love playing music. I sort of taught Christina some of my music, and she taught me some of hers. And we met somewhere in the middle.
And what is your kind of music that you approached her with?
Well, I grew up playing traditional music, like old-time American fiddle music.
Old time,
stuff,
written
like-
when?
like stuff from Appalachia, and written, just stuff that's been passed down. Old music, like Civil War era or early 20th century music.
And this is what you play now?
Yeah, we still play it.
So we're about
Just
to
trying
hear
to keep it alive.
We're about to hear some early 20th century music.
Yeah.
Wait. Hey, should we sing Red Rocking Chair?
Oh,
What do you think
sure.
about that?
Yeah.
Red Rocking
Yeah.
Chair.
Grab my guitar.
What instrument do you want to play? Guitar?
I'll play guitar. You want to play mandolin?
Sure.
What's Red Rocking Chair?
Red Rocking Chair is an old folk tune. There's a lot of different versions of it. I'm not actually even sure who wrote it, but
Guitar pick.
this version is similar to a version that's played by a sort of a more contemporary folk musician named Bruce Molsky. So we'll see if we can make it sound good.
And hey everybody, thanks for commenting. I can't read the comments and do this at the same time, but Chris, if there's any great relevant ones, please
A lot of people are complimenting
bring
you.
them up.
Also, you can read them afterward,
And
and
sending my love to everyone because
the post or the video will be recorded to our Facebook page, and you can go back and read the comments for the rest of time. None of this is disappearing.
For all eternity.
Okay, tell them I can't wear headphones for this, so I can't hear anything anyone's saying.
All right, let's see.
What key are we doing this in?
D.
What is this one called again?
Red Rocking Chair.
Wait, we have to figure
Red
out where we're
Rocking Chair.
starting.
Starts, so it's in the key of D. And it goes to the, starts on the 4, yeah. A, G.
Okay, cool. Got it, let's start. Yeah.
Well, I ain't got no use. I ain't got no use for your red rocking chair. I ain't got no honey, baby, now. I ain't got no sugar, baby, now. Well, I laid her in the shade. Laid her in the shade. I gave her every dime I made. What else could a poor boy do? What else could a poor boy do? Well, now I'll rock this cradle. I'll rock this cradle. I'll sing the song. I'll rock the cradle when you're gone. I'll rock the cradle, sing the song. Well, it's all I can do. It's all I can do, and it's all I can say. Give it to your mother next payday. Give it to your mother next payday. Well, it's all I can do. It's all I can do, and it's all I can say. Can't go on living this old way. Can't go on living this old way. Well, I ain't got no use. I ain't got no use for your red rocking chair. I ain't got no honey baby now. I ain't got no sugar baby now.
Thank you so much, Wules. The
Yeah, thank you.
Wules. I think we got to keep this going. I think we got to keep people feeling this traditional energy for as long as we can and not interrupt it.
Sure, yeah, we'll play you some more. You want to play a rag?
Oh, sure, yeah.
All right, so
A-
this next piece we're gonna play is from 1927.
Seven.
Yeah, 1927 by the Dallas String Band. It's an instrumental piece called the Dallas Rag.
Let's make sure we're,
We're probably out of tune because we didn't prepare for this very well.
I think we're mostly in tune. Let's see.
I think it sounded
We sounded
great.
all right. Yeah.
I know I've got at least one. And we're a little out, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, ready? Dallas Rag, Dallas String Band,
Yes,
1927.
fun,
Look it
very
up. Great piece of music.
And they played about a third faster.
They
than
play
we
it
do,
better than us,
maybe
yeah.
Twice.
Probably
It's all
sped up
crazy.
the tape,
It does
I don't
sound
know.
like the tape is sped up on
They
the recording.
turned the wax cylinder up to warp 12.
So I'm wondering if there's any way to get the microphone situated so that it's not blocking both of you at the same time.
Oh, sure.
Hey, what's going on here? Yeah.
I was just looking at the comments. Do we have any good? Oh, here. Hang on. Sorry.
Oh,
Michael.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's
Say
all
hi to
crazy.
What are you trying
say
to
hi
do?
to Patty and Valerie.
Hey,
but
Patty. Hey, Valerie.
Oh, Patty and Valerie are here.
Patty Franz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my aunt. And my
Franz.
mom, I think.
Oh,
Hi,
and
Val.
Yep, Valerie
Hi,
Cullinan.
Gigi.
That's perfect.
Great.
All right. Should we, you want to sing one or? Yeah, we should sing one.
Sure. Yeah. Can we sing another one?
Sure, you
You
can
want to
sing
do
one.
I Get the Blues?
Yeah. Sure.
Here,
I'm
I'll
gonna
stay,
hop on the bass here.
I'll stay plugged in so we can,
We have time for a
Communicate with the
couple.
worlds.
We have about 8
so
minutes
you should-
until we've promised another person their starting time at 7.
okay. So
But
we'll-
I have to request that we see you play the fiddle, Michael, because you're really good at it.
all right, we'll get the fiddle out after this tune.
Okay. And what's this one?
This one's called I Get the Blues, and it's written by Bo Carter. And this is another early 20th century, kind of almost a jazz
Sure,
standard.
Baby, I'm so blue about you. Sweet baby, because your loving is so soft.
This is incredible. Thank you so much for being on. We totally have time for one more, but I just want to say thank you for that one.
Hey,
I hope
my
I hope
fiddle.
everyone at home is dancing or just kind of grooving around. You don't have to be full on dancing because not all of us are trained to be full on dancers, but as long as you keep it safe and fun, groove away.
Yeah, if you're
Oh, he's
dancing
picking
at
up the
home,
fiddle.
make sure that you're not dancing around any boiling pots of water.
Or fish tanks.
Fish tanks can be dangerous. Watch out for ceiling fans if you're throwing your arms up in the air.
Yep.
These are
Thanks,
all
Michael.
hazards.
Thanks for that.
Watch out for pets.
Oh, maybe I should have.
Or maybe dance with the pets.
Back over
Yeah.
here.
All right. We'll play you a fiddle tune next. You want to do one in C? You still have my pick. Want to do Billy in the Low Ground?
Oh, yeah.
Doggone it.
Got my heart pumping.
That tune's called Billy in the Low Ground. And I think it comes from a time when people used to go to barn dances because TV hadn't been invented and people still liked to interact with one another.
Now, when they went to these barn dances, do you think that they were dancing about 6 feet apart?
Definitely
No,
not,
yeah,
not closer than a Bible's width
Yeah.
or shizzle.
They probably got down way dirtier than we do now.
Than we could even imagine.
Yeah.
You know,
Dust, sweat.
COVID-19 jokes are probably going to be around for, gosh, probably the next 50 years.
Yeah. Unless everyone just wants to forget about it.
Oh, we could
I
do
don't know,
that
there's
too.
not too many Spanish flu jokes that I know of, but it's been more than 50
It
years.
has been like 100 years.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been a real pleasure having you on.
Oh, it's
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure being on. I
Yeah,
guess
it's
it's
been an
7
honor.
o'clock there, yeah, so
Wow.
somebody else
It
is
is.
chomping at
It's
the bit,
it's magic time.
waiting to...
It is magic time. With
Oh,
that,
Chris, can I just tell everyone that we have a radio show tomorrow
oh, of course.
morning Every
Shady
Sunday.
Pines Radio. Every Sunday?
Shady Pines Radio every Sunday.
So people
at
get
11
to tune
a.m.
into this, and then they get to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. every
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 11 a.m. our time. So
Which
Oh,
is
it's
noon
okay.
your
It's noon
time.
our time. Okay, noon on
So-
Sundays our time. And where can they find? Is it online? Because
that's at
Yep.
shadypinesradio.com. Shady Pines, as in the shade underneath the pine tree,
Yes.
radio.com.
ShadyPinesRadio.com. I'll post links. And it's just like a gospel hour celebrating the magic of the Wules, and
It's Wool Gospel,
it's
not
Wool
the
gospel,
other kind. Yeah.
and not the boring old kind. Yeah, it's
All
fun
right.
though. We play tunes and tell stories, and
we're all going to go over to Shady Pines Radio at noon tomorrow.
hopes to see everybody there.
I hope to have you back on, guys, one day soon. We do have a lot of guests lined up, but we have to get into more of your catalog, Christina. I'm going to make that decision right now for thousands of people. And Michael, again, an incredible player, and I wish to have you back on as well. And thank you for bringing the tradition of music to our lives. Thank you for making us dance. And couldn't do that if we didn't have guys like you that practice so hard at learning those instruments. I mean, how long have you been playing?
Oh, most of my life. I think I
Wow.
started playing fiddle when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old. And I don't know, my parents made me practice until I
That's the
got
key.
good enough to enjoy it. So
You hear that, parents? Make
yeah,
them practice.
that's the trick, is yell at your children, and if
Okay.
they don't practice, guilt trip them into it. Anyway,
Something you
uh,
guys will talk about later.
thanks for having us on.
Sure.
It's been
Anytime.
an
fun.
honor, Chris. Thank you so much for having me on and exploring my music.
Thank you,
I
Christina.
appreciate that.
Thank you, Michael. And now it's magic time. Everybody at home, we've got some impossible things happening for you today. I'm going to take this screen off right here. Jonah, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good, good, good. Let's see. There's a microphone behind you. Sorry. Can you bring that forward so we can talk to you for a second? Wonderful. What do you have for us today?
I have some magic, and then afterwards I have some music.
Oh, I don't know if everybody knew you were a musician. I guess you just do everything. Huh?
Kind of. But yeah, it's a double treat for tonight.
All right. Shall we get started with the magic?
If you'd like to.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes I have no idea what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. See, no one that we've shown that to yet knows how that happens.
I know it is kind of a thing that gets some people. So see this hat empty?
Oh. What? Folks at home, I hope you saw that hat was empty. Now, the white balance metering on the camera may have made it appear that the hat was completely white inside and that you couldn't see anything, but trust me, it looked exactly empty. That is a ton of silks. And Joe, you just pulled many pieces of Jonah LaVelle, ladies and gentlemen, pulling many pieces of fabric out of an empty hat and then producing doves out of that fabric.
There we go. That's the show.
Well, why is that table there?
I'm joking. All right. Watch very carefully. A red silk handkerchief. comes out of the hand. White. Just like that, goes in. Just like that.
Just like that. What does that even mean, just like that? And it pulls out red. And you stuff it in white and it comes out red.
Yep. This is, okay, the fact of the matter is I'm not really using one scarf. See, it's two scarves. See, what I was doing is before I came out here, I had the white one and I was really fast stuffing it into my fist just like that. And then this is what's called palming. So you stuff the white handkerchief into your hand just like that, and then you have the red one palming this one right here, you know. Wave this one around for misdirection. The only thing that you can't do is when you're doing this, you can't open up your hand. I can, but you shouldn't. So anyways, so you got the white one stuck in there just like that. Then you come over with the red one here and pull the white one out. And it looks like it's not actually magic, but it looks like it's real magic. Just like that.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you know the great magician in Las Vegas with his own show? What is his name? Chris Angel?
Yes.
He said on a radio interview that when people know how magic is done, when you tell them, even when you tell them, they'll blank it out or they'll forget it on purpose. Or they won't believe you because they would rather know or rather feel that they were fooled.
Yeah.
So have you tried telling people this before?
I've tried explaining several of my tricks. A lot of people think that it's going up my sleeves, and I'm showing you that it's not. So,
Wow.
I don't usually reveal how my tricks are done, because I like that mystery. I like the mystery to be there. But sometimes I do tell how my tricks are done.
Beautiful. That was a great effect.
Thank you.
And that's something that I don't see in theater, and you know, theater is usually all about acting. But
Yes.
but I'm starting to think that these effects really have a place in our culture in the theater. But go on. We'll talk about that later.
All right. What should I do next? I have a whole bunch of treats for you guys today. For example, I have a trick here that is probably one of the oldest magic tricks in the world.
We got to
this
watch
one-
closely. We got to watch very
Yeah,
closely
watch
on
very
this one.
This one is said to be invented by Egyptians. They're not 100% sure because they don't have really like solid evidence. However, there is a hieroglyph in one of the pyramids that depicts a couple of people around a table, and one of the guys has 3 cups, and it looks like he's playing this game, which was the 3 cups and balls, or you may know it better as a 3-shell game with a P. But the basics, no matter if you're using 3 walnut shells and a pea, or you're using metal cups and balls, the premise of the game is very simple. So we're not 100% sure where this was originated. It also has origins in China, but it did originate, we think, in Egypt because of that hieroglyph. Now, an important thing about that hieroglyph is it was high up on the wall. If it was lower to the ground, then it would have been a lower glyph. So, all right. So, here's the game. You have 3 balls, just like that, and 3 copper cups. We're actually going to cover one of these balls with a cup, just like that. Now watch very carefully. The ball has melted through that cup.
Oh, Lordy.
just like that. Now watch again.
Okay, you've
Just
got
like
to
that.
show us the tops of the cups. You've got to just confirm to us that there's no holes. I mean,
Well, if I was to tell you that there was holes, I'm gonna put these over here for a second, except for one of them. If I was to tell you that there wasn't holes in the top, then that wouldn't be 100% honest. See, I take a ball, put it here. If I give it a tap, just like that, it vanishes, and it jumps right there, just like that. Now, I will show you, I'm going to put that over there right now. I will show you what I mean with the holes in the top of the cup, just like this. If you look closely, it looks solid. It sounds solid. If you look, that's approximately the depth of the inside of the cup. However, the inside of the cup right here is not the same as the outside of the cup. It looks like it's this deep, but in actuality, see if you look at it, then it's actually deeper, just like that. So that aids in the trick and how it works. And if you see, it looks solid, but there's actually a hole allowing the cups to pass through one another, just like that.
I'm more flabbergasted than when we began.
So, to sum it up, cup, they all have holes in the bottom of them, or the top, whichever one you prefer.
Never revealing the real
balls
secret.
Also have a secret. If you look here, there's actually a magnet on the end of this wand and a magnet on the ball. Now, you put that right there, just like that. Take this one, put that right there. Take this one, put it underneath there. So we now have a ball under each cup. Now, Chris, would you pick one cup?
Let's go with the middle.
The middle. All right. I'm going to take that wand, stick it down through the trap door, attach the ball to the magnet on the tip of the wand. It's invisible right now, but it's now here. Pick another cup.
The one on your right.
The one on my right. All right. This one here.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. And that is where the magic happens.
If people are going to study this footage for a long time, or if anybody knows how this is done, come talk to me personally, because I'm really angry right now and I don't understand what
Please
I'm seeing.
I'm supposed to be looking here, not
Yeah.
Please don't come talk to him. Then he'll know how it's done, and then he'll just be like, I know how that's done.
Dang.
But let's say you had figured out that I might have been trying to trick you or make you pick this one. So,
Okay, sure, because I thought about that.
yeah. So, if you had said this cup, there we go, just like this, a ball under each cup.
Are you going to reveal to us how this is done?
I did.
Ah,
I showed you. Okay.
false reveal.
So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. We are going to, now that you know the rules, we're gonna play a game. Okay.
Okay,
And
sure.
it might reveal it to you. It might not. I don't know. Okay. 3 balls, 3 cups. Take the first ball. Tap it with a wand. There you go. Vanishes. Vanishes. There we go. It's completely gone. Now, Chris,
Yes.
pick one cup.
Your left.
Okay. Now, how much do you want to bet that there's a ball under here?
Well, I don't know, because I think you have control. I think you can put the balls wherever you want them. So let's say, how much do I want to bet?
Yeah.
I'll bet $10.
$10 that the ball is here.
Yeah. Oh.
That's very good. You got that correct. Now, I did cheat. There's a ball under each cup. So, either way, you would have won that $10. But let's eliminate one ball. empty cup goes there. We'll put that aside. We'll put this ball there and this ball there. Pick one cup.
Your right.
My right?
The one on your right.
Again?
Yes.
Are you sure you don't want the center one?
Yes.
You do want the center one?
No, I'm sure I want the one on your right. Do I have to pick the center one?
No, there's a ball there. That was too easy. You knew. So,
Is there-
well, actually, no. I'm not going to vanish that ball because then you know now that if I vanish that ball, that it's going to be on my, that it's going to end up under the cup, right?
Right.
So if I vanish this ball, then you know exactly where it goes. So I'm going to actually put that away. Okay, now, Chris, empty cup.
Okay, empty cup.
Empty cup.
Empty cup.
This is really easy.
'Kay.
Where's the ball?
In the middle.
Yay, you're correct.
Thanks.
Okay, so right now, let's say you have like $30, right?
Okay.
You've won $30 because you've guessed where the ball is every single time.
Thanks.
All right, so now we have one ball and 3 cups. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that, put that right underneath there, and now what we're going to do is we're going to mix up. Did you follow it? Where's the ball?
I think it's the one on your right.
The one on my right?
Mhm.
Nope.
Did I lose the whole bet?
You lost the whole bet. But you know what? That's okay. Now, again, we're going to put that ball away. Okay, now, you have one ball to find. Okay. Any cup.
The middle.
The middle?
Hmm? Sure.
I'm sorry, you see, the ball was actually there. But that's fine. So, you're getting the hang of the game, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now, let's take away all the balls. I'm joking. I know that wouldn't be very fair to you. All right, you see, the fact of the matter is there wasn't just one ball in the game all along. You see, there's another ball there too,
Sure.
just like that. And there's even a ball right there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the cups and balls.
Thank you.
Yay. I don't know why I applauded myself.
Oh, deck of cards.
Deck of cards, yes.
Infamous
is-
deck of cards.
Probably going to be one of the most amazing tricks that you will ever see.
Well,
I don't
you
know, maybe.
led up
Okay,
to that really
we are
well.
going to use the ace through 4 of spades for this trick. This is a really fun trick. This is actually one of the first tricks that I learned.
Which card are we going to use?
The ace through 4 of spades.
Okay, ace through
So,
4 of
yeah, we're going to
spades.
use all of them.
'Kay.
There's the 4, there's the 3, there's the 2, and there's the ace. Just like that. Here, if we set those right.
Should I zoom in?
You can if you want to. Am I still in focus? Yes, sir. All right, there we go. Okay, so we have the ace, the 2, the 3, and the 4, just like that. All right, now, watch very carefully. I'm going to turn this pack just like that. And I know it seems unbelievable, but one of those cards has turned upside down, just like that. Now, watch again. 3, our ace is back, and a different card has turned upside down. That would be the 2. There's the 4, there's the 2, now it's the 3. Now, this game it's a little bit of a game because it actually tests how closely you're paying attention. You see, you might have been noticing that every time I turn around one of the cards, every time I revolve the cards, one of them turns face down.
Right.
And of course, you can see there's the 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. But what you might have not seen was when I turned the cards and they all turned red.
Oh my God.
This game is all about the perceptions that we give people and what people think that they're seeing. In reality, they're seeing something different. But then that comes to this deck. Red cards and a blue deck. Now, I don't like to have mismatched cards. So as you can see here, all it takes is a fan over the deck. There we go. All of those cards have now turned red. And this is going to be an extremely easy thing for me, because all I have to do.
And they're
Just
red.
like that.
Well, there's a lot of red cards.
All of those are, and they're now all red.
If you don't know how this stuff works, it is really infuriating to be in the presence of this. You can't figure it out. Your brain either gives up on it or determines it's. How did you get in? Did you, at a young age, did you see this and then you said, I need to figure this out? Was it like that, or did you simply want to entertain people in that way?
I wanted to entertain people, and I
Lovely.
wanted to bring them joy, because when I first saw Magic Trick, I was full of such wonder and joy and happiness that I wanted to also bring that to other people.
Wow. So opposite reaction from me.
Yes, well, that was the initial phase. Then came the phase when I actually started learning all this stuff. That was,
Okay.
I want to know how to do this. I want to know how to do this. I want to know how to do this. But it wasn't the goal as I just want to know how it's done. It was I want to know how to do this stuff so that I can better my act and my tricks to
Yeah.
entertain people even more. So, actually, later on, you'll hear me play the piano. And an interesting thing about the piano is that my piano teacher was also my magic teacher. And so a lot of people don't know that about me. They think, oh, you do magic, that's cool. Where'd you learn? And I tell them, oh, I had a teacher or whatever. But what they don't know is I got started in music first, and then he started showing me tricks, and that's when I started. Well, the first person to show me a trick was my grandfather. And he showed me a trick, and then he showed me how it was done, and I knew how to do that one trick. And I went and showed it to my piano teacher, and then he started showing me tricks. And then it kind of grew from there, and he started teaching me stuff, and then I started learning some stuff and buying some resources to learn how to do this stuff, and it was really good. So for anyone, I don't know if anybody out there wants to get started in magic, but if you do, the best place to go is to find someone who does magic and to start talking to them and to start hanging out with them, or trying to learn some things off of YouTube or whatever. Just buy a deck of cards and learn with cards first. I started with cards, then I moved into all of these other things, which they're all amazing. All of these things are amazing, but a lot of people, when they want to do magic, they think of the big Vegas stuff. And they forget how much amazing stuff you can do with just cards.
Yeah, you can absolutely take people's breaths away. You don't have to go to Vegas.
Yes.
You can do it on the street. There are street magicians. You could do it to your friends. And I mean, that's the same with music too.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll hear music from you a little later on. What are you doing? What are you preparing right now?
Yeah, that's all of them. Okay.
Coins? Little metal
Yes.
coins? Okay.
Yes. I'll actually place that right there.
Okay,
We'll
so
use it.
you're not going to touch it, or?
I'm not going to touch it. We're going to place that there,
Okay.
and I'll use it later. Okay. This trick is a very interesting trick. I've actually performed this trick so many times. I can't even say how many times I've done this trick. But the idea of the trick is very simple. One card covers one coin.
Right.
And this is how it works. The cards work as a
Wha-
portal.
Uh,
almost. just like that. They work almost like a portal. So it is a very cool trick that uses several cards and several coins. And
My mom just commented, "What?" Just has no, and I also have no idea how it happens. And this is probably I should learn from this mistake to bring someone on who actually makes me completely speechless with their skill. Even though
Yeah.
I'm the host of the show, I should have a lot to say. But
Yeah.
I don't. I just what? I don't know. So I mean, can you show us that again, or is that one that you're going to reveal?
I can do that. Well, do you want me to reveal it?
Well, I know that I want it. I want to know personally, but why don't we just keep it between you and me after the show? My mom will have to wait
Okay.
and maybe find out later.
Well, I'm doing this because there's something very special about this. That got stuck a little bit. That got stuck. I don't know why it got stuck. Okay, so this trick is very interesting because it uses the four coins and the 4 cards, and a lot of people think that it uses the mat that it's on. But the fact of the matter is that it does not use the mat that it's on.
Okay, I can imagine that, like little sprung trap doors that you could flip coins into the little pad beneath the. I could
Yeah.
imagine how that could work, and I kind of thought about that, but it doesn't. There's no little trap doors in that mat or anything like
No.
that. It's solid mat.
Except for right here.
Oh, wait, the card?
No, underneath the mat.
Oh, there is a hole in the mat. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a poker chip.
That
That's
is
a poker chip, ladies and
And
gentlemen.
there's a trapdoor there. And there's 2 trapdoors here.
Oh,
Just like that. Now, these 2 have interesting properties, and we can talk about them in a second, but these 2 also have some pretty interesting properties, and so does this one right there. Do you guys want to see them?
yes.
Okay, so the properties, we will no longer need these cards. We'll just need the poker chips just like that. Set those there. Okay, this is what we're going to do.
Okay.
Just like that. They actually vanish. So you might have been thinking, wow, you're using 4 poker chips. No, I'm not using 4 poker chips. Guess how many poker chips I'm using? There's 3 right there, and there's 3 poker chips right there. So I'm actually using 6. Now, these 2, there we go, just like that one. These 2 here.
Uh-huh.
Just like that,
Uh-huh.
vanishes back down
Uh-huh.
to those 4. There we go, just like that. And that is a real poker chip. If you want to check it out, you can. This one as well
I'm going to go check it out.
is a real poker chip. Just like that.
Just like that.
Yep.
It's a real poker chip.
Now, watch very closely. You can see them both right there, yes?
Yeah.
All right, watch.
Oh my gosh.
Just like that.
They were like I thought they were like linking together and then but that what you just did was I can't explain that anymore.
Now they're both red.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool? But watch. We have a red one here. We have a red one here. Now watch. The red and blue will change places.
Beautiful.
Just like that. Now, watch very carefully. I'm going to take both of them. You heard that sound? Do you know what it was?
No.
It was them vanishing. Do you know where they went? All 4 of them right back there, just like that. Do you want to check these out?
Yeah. They're regular. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonah LaVelle. Do you have anything else for us?
I do have one more thing that I could do. If you guys
Oh,
want
yeah,
to
the
see
rope.
that. This one is just a quick wrap-up one. Usually I like to get my rope tricks out of the way in the beginning of the show. That way I'm not tied up at the end. Or here it's badoong. It's like this, badoong. Like that, there we go. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, well,
Okay, so you've snipped a rope.
yep, we don't need that. So
You
I
don't
have
need
this
that
rope
part.
here.
Okay.
Now, a rope has 2 ends and a center.
Right.
Correct.
Of course.
All right, I'm going to take that center and cut it.
Gotcha.
Now it has 2 ends and no center.
Wait, what?
I cut the center. So now it has 2 ends of the rope and no center. Well, 4 ends.
4 ends. Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Okay.
But all I have
Well-
to do is
Um.
blow in there. I get back right there.
Did anyone at home get that? I didn't. Wow. I don't think anybody knows how. I couldn't. I'm flabbergasted.
Well, that's, you know.
That's what you do.
happens a lot, yeah. And again, do you want to see that again?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Okay. This is what I'm going to do. Let's see. If I take. If I cut the rope,
Uh-huh.
then that could, that could just be that could be something that you'd look at and be like, you might not seem that as a very interesting thing. There we go.
People cut rope all the time.
Yeah. With scissors, obviously.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But there we go. Just like that.
Jeez.
Now I'm gonna
Okay.
take this end here and tie it just like that. There we go. Now,
Okay. So we got 2 ropes tied together end to end.
yep. Now, watch. That knot is actually not a real knot.
Wait, you're like.
See, it actually
How
just
did that?
comes right off,
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
that. And we have one solid rope. Okay, we'll do it one more time.
Oh,
alright?
okay.
We'll actually cut the rope in half.
With the scissors. Okay.
Yep.
Now
there we
this.
go.
Now that we've cut the center of the rope in half, there are 4 ends.
Ew.
What?
Well, that's not very.
That's. How did that happen?
I don't know. That's not very even. I just grab the center and pull it up.
I'm clapping.
Here, this is what we're gonna do.
I'm clapping.
Um,
This is just
we're gonna
fun.
start with a new piece of rope.
Oh,
There we go, just like that. But it's okay. This is what I'm gonna do. When you have one piece of rope, just like this, you can cut the ends off, and then you just have a center with no ends. And then all you have to do is right in here.
my mind is
Take
blown.
this.
My mind. Wait, are you gonna? And you just. All right. Well, people at home, I'm just not smart enough to figure this out, and maybe you are. Share this with your kids; they might be smarter.
That's a
Share,
real
share
rope.
this video with anyone that you think
And real scissors.
can.
All right.
Those are real scissors. I've
Yep.
held them before. Is
And
that
that's it.
okay?
That's the magic that I have for you. I hope it was enough that it worked.
It was so enough. Thank you, Jonah LaVelle. We are going to come back to you with music after a bit, and the camera's mysteriously turning. Guys, I was inspired, and let's see if I can keep this camera turning. I was inspired by Christina and Michael so much that Jonah let me ask him if I could play a little of more traditional folk for you. And if anybody knows me, they know that I know but one folk artist, and that is Mr. Hank Williams. Now, I'm going to get situated just a little bit. If anyone in the comments has a request about a song from Hank Williams that they want to hear, could you just put it in the old comments, and I'll see if that's one that I know. Let me get my guitar and see if it's in tune while Jonah sets up for music. All right, all right. Let me get the mic on. Sounds relatively reasonably in tune. I'm just going to do a song, and then we're going to get into some of Jonah's piano music. Let's see. Your Cheatin' Heart. Let's see if I can remember all the words to that, maybe. Your cheating heart will make you weep. You'll cry and cry and try to sleep, but sleep won't come the whole night through. Your cheating heart will tell on you when tears come down like falling rain. You toss around and call my name. You'll walk the floor the way I do. Your cheating heart will tell on you. Thanks, Kathleen Whiteside, for the suggestion. The next verse, I don't know. We didn't play it in the show. Here's another one that, let me get this mic down here. Here's another one that I wanted to share. It's one of those moments that we did in Hank Williams' Lost Highway where it was sort of unto itself in the scripts. Now, you had the story of Hank Williams going on, and one thing seemed to lead to another. And then you had this scene where Hank just steps up to the microphone and does "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry." It's kind of out of context. It's in the context of that he's on tour and this is a performance, but the play really lets it speak for itself. There's not a whole lot of dialogue about the song. Even in the play, he shows the song to other people and they say, "Wow, that's really good. Are you going to record that? You got to record that. Get that one down." It's one of these songs that no one knows quite what to say about. It hits home in a pretty deep way. He that lonesome whippoorwill, he sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is winding low. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Have you ever seen a night so long as time keeps crawling by? The moon just went behind the cloud to hide her face and cry. Did you ever see a robin weep as leaves begin to die? Like me, could cry. The silence of a fallen star lights up the purple sky. And as I wonder where you are, I'm so lonesome I could cry. Thanks for indulging me in that bit of more traditional music inspired by Christina Osborn and Michael Cullinan. I hope that's how I pronounce his last name. Now we're going to move to Jonah LaVelle once again, but this time he's going to be on the piano. And boy, his songs, let me tell you, he gave me a CD of his songs a few months ago. They're simple, elegant, inspired by power, structure. He immediately reminded me of a classical or a neoclassical composer like, what's the guy's name who does, Brian Crane. Jonah is kind of another Brian Crane, so I'm going to let him have at it. I'm going to turn the piano mic on right now. Let me get you a microphone.
Thank you. I would like to talk
Folks, I'm
about
going to get him a microphone.
pieces.
He would like to talk, and that's just as well.
Okay, so when I first started writing music and songs and stuff, I thought it was so amazing because this was the first song that I ever wrote. It was called Band March, and it was. So it was like that, and it repeated that like 4 times, and then again. So that was the first song that I ever wrote, and I thought that I'm a composer now. It was so amazing, just like all first songs, I guess.
Hey, that's how we all feel when we
I
write
know.
our first song.
I was like so happy that I had composed a song, and it's really just a scale, like
Sure.
that, and then the left hand, just that. So it was for me at like 12, I think, 13 when I first wrote this song. It was like a huge achievement for me.
Oh, sure.
But that kind of played into, that was kind of the beginning of me writing all these other things, because after a while when I started getting more advanced in piano playing and everything, and I go, this song is really simple and not that, like it doesn't have a lot of heart or feeling or anything like that in it. And so it just, it was just like a kind of basic thing. So then I kind of wanted to get into more, some different styles and some different feels. And you might see some of that throughout my playing. This first one is called A Western Sunset. And it was originally supposed to sound Oriental. I was trying to get like that type of Oriental sound that's kind of, that really, you hear that and you think, the Orient, whatever. So I was trying to get that. And as I continued to write it, and I took it to my teacher and I said, hey, I have this song, what do you think about it? And I said, I want it to sound Oriental. And he said, it doesn't sound Oriental to me, it sounds Western. So then I changed the theme and named it Western Sunset. So I hope you enjoy. Oh, okay. You hit a wrong note, and then kind of with some of my songs, if you hit a wrong note, then it sidetracks you because.
Well, that's how you know it's complex and good. That addition of that last arpeggio, bum 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 bum. That's it could have been a mistake. I'm not saying it was. That actually shed a whole different color wavelength on the song for me. So I'm just saying you could go back and watch this and put that in the song. If it was a mistake, maybe not. But that was very cool.
No, I tend to do stuff like that. in
Oh my
music.
gosh,
I like the sound of notes that feel like, oh, but work with the song.
Yeah, it's I mean, I guess some people call it dissonance. But it's not a huge dissonance. It's just really a compliment to the things that you were doing before.
Yeah. So that's kind of my thing is finding songs like I've tried to get songs that sound really happy and upbeat and everything, and I'm working on a couple of them. But a lot of my songs tend to sound a little bit more on like the sadder side or like the more serious side, and I don't know why, but that
just what comes
kind
to you.
of seems to match in with that type of theme.
That's very interesting. So like finding a different musical element or color goes more with the somber or melancholy music than sort of trying to change it up and become dissonant with the happy stuff.
Well, I think it can go with both.
Okay, you think so?
Like I've heard it in happy songs too, but it just in my experience it works.
Huh. What's next?
This song was actually intended for a short film that I was going to make that never actually got made, but I wrote the song, and it's called The Final Hours. Spoiler alert, it's the final hours before someone dies. But it is kind of sad, but then it does end kind of on a little bit of a happier note. Like it ends where you're like, okay, maybe something good happened, but then in the beginning it's sad. So, yeah.
The Final Hours by Jonah LaVelle.
like this stuff up here. This is if I've learned, well, this, you can have beautiful stuff down there too, but if you want really pretty stuff that makes your mom cry, play up here. It works. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
I think
it's really good.
we do all need good ways to make our moms cry.
I know. Well, I always tell Mom I know that if she's crying, that it's a good thing, because she doesn't usually cry at awful things, you know, like awfully written.
Sometimes
pieces or whatever.
if you react to, oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, people tend to help or get under a certain kind of stress when the music's actually really bad, but then when it's good, we cry.
Well, that's true. And she could hear an awful piece and be crying because it's hurting her ears so bad or whatever.
Yeah.
But, usually when she's crying and then she'll say, "Oh, that was so beautiful," and I'm like, thank you.
Someone told me once we cry when life is more beautiful than we expected it to be. So I think you're giving your mom a great gift. Yeah.
I really enjoy playing the piano, so it's also something for me too. Like, I enjoy just sitting down and just playing at the piano.
This is an album I would put in everyone's car. Do you have anything else from it for us?
Yes, I have one more. This song is actually one of my mom's favorites. So
Great.
on the album, a little thing on the album isn't working right now. Chris got a sample of it.
Right.
So it is not released yet, but we're working on recording a couple more things and then working on finalizing some cover art and some stuff, and then it should be ready for people to buy and everything. And it has 9 songs on it.
Beautiful. Okay.
And you've heard 3. So
Does the album have a name?
yes, the album is called From My Heart. And what I did with the album is each of the songs, one of the songs in there is called From My Heart because it was really like from my heart, So anyways, that's the album name, and each of the songs has a special place in my life and in my heart. So what I did is I dedicated each of the songs to someone who had a special place in my life, like to my piano teacher, to my parents, to my siblings, to my grandparents, people that have been in my life and have helped me to become who I am, like as far as the piano, as far as doing my magic, as far as working in theater, have all been icons. And so with my first album, I dedicated each of those songs to someone who had helped me on that journey.
Wow.
So
This is going to be a good album. I want to help you record it. I want to help you make it the best it can be, and we'll have it out soon.
it'll be awesome.
Well, I mean, soon is relative, but
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
What's this one called?
This one is From My Heart.
Oh, jeez, you had to.
All right. This one is also the, technically what's going on is a little bit harder for me.
Mhm.
Like, I do not consider myself to be a master at piano.
Mm.
But sometimes I wrote some music and some stuff that I still cannot play to where I want.
Yeah, that's a curse, right?
Yeah, I know.
Curse of many a musician with an imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that how it starts?
No.
Okay.
All right, this is it.
appreciated, Jonah.
You're welcome.
That was called From My Heart,
Yeah.
right? Everyone listening at home, this is a live broadcast from the Center for the Arts at Kayenta. You can donate to us, kayentaarts.com/donate. We try to bring opportunities to local musicians now that this crisis has hit us and forced us into our homes and to not gather in large public performances, let's say, as we do in our theater. I just wanted to encourage you to give whatever you can. It's how we afford the piano, the microphones, the talent, the broadcast software, and it's how we're going to afford our shows in the future. So anything you can do would be greatly appreciated. We subsist on about half of our revenue is ticket sales, and the other half is donors like you. So be an angel for the arts. We'll be emailing you more about that soon. You can get on our email list by sending your full name and email to cfakstaff@gmail.com. Jonah, we have a few minutes. I want to talk to you about where your life is going, what your plans are, and specifically how you see magic and theater becoming one. Something that we talked about a while ago.
Yes.
It's, and I'm going to get the mic a little closer to you so that people can hear you.
All right.
Feel free
I can just do this.
Thank you.
I'm not a diva. I don't require you to do everything.
When we produced a show that was conceived by you, and I helped out and trying to flesh out what it was, called Imaginarium, which was a magic show that wasn't just a magic show.
Yes, that's correct.
It
Sorry.
It was a story that we were trying to present with
Yes.
magic as part of the show.
Yes, and I have not particularly liked just the magician there. Look at me.
Huh.
As I do a trick, as I do another trick, as I do another trick, as I do another trick. With me, that has always been like, it gets a little bit show offy, with to a certain extent, I like to have showmanship and really, present it like here, like a showy type show, but for me, I tend to pull away from that because I've seen too many people that are just like presenting it that way, and it comes off kind of like a I'm so much better than you type of personality.
Yeah.
With that type of attitude, and I don't want that attitude to come across to my audience. So of course sometimes I kind of joke around with some of my audience or whatever, but I always try to give them something that they can take away, and that it's not just like, well, we just watch someone up there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just pull stuff out of a hat or whatever. I also want there to be a substance to the show, and the show needs to flow. I am someone who loves theater that flows together nicely, that you don't see these blackouts and these things happening to change scenes I don't like jump cutting from trick to trick to trick. I like having these tricks flow together and to fit with how the whole story plays out and how it works on stage. And the first time that I ever experimented with this was with a close-up magic contest, which I ended up getting first place for. And my whole story was about time. I asked, what is time? What is it all about? Can we control it? Can we, what would it be like if we could control time, if we could go back in time, if we could speed time up? So the whole all of the tricks centered around this idea of controlling time. Because if you think about it, I don't want to go off topic or whatever, but if you think about it, time is, you've heard of Father Time or whatever. Time controls us. it controls everything about us. It controls the times that we eat, when we go to bed, when we wake up, when we get to work, when we get off of work. We are locked into this thing where time is basically our master, telling us when we can do certain things, and oh well, we'll wait till later, or hey, we'll do that at 2, or we'll do that at 3. And it's also kind of like a universal language throughout the whole United States and even the world. I know we're on different time zones and everything, and some countries are a day or 2 ahead.
Well, it seems like that's just another element of it.
Yeah,
That's
but
another element of the structure of time.
even though someone in Australia is like, I think they're like a day and a half ahead or whatever. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But if you both agree to meet at a certain time, that's going to be like maybe 3 o'clock there and this time here. But that's like a universal thing. That if you kind of get what I'm saying, that's that's something that is there that's just has everyone locked into this thing. So the idea about the whole thing is timeless. What would happen if you could control something that is controlling you? If you could slow it down, if you could speed it up, if you could go back in time or into the future, what would that be like? So the whole entire story was about the going back in time, speeding time up, slowing time, and then even making time stand still where it seems like nothing is even happening, like it's all just still. So it played with those ideas, and for me as a storyteller and being involved in theater and being an actor and also being a magician, I like to add the theatrical elements to it. So that's why I kind of do the whole entire story thing.
It's such a fascinating idea to take a story that you'd want to tell about something impossible and add the technology and the know-how from the magic world and give it to the theater, give it to a playwright.
Yes.
Let them know about it and say, have you wanted to write a play about if someone could stop time? Well, we know how to make a set that is fallen over and then it just stops, or we know how to make things look like they're frozen in time. And I think it should be a new wave.
I think, yes, I would agree with you. There are so many things that you'll read through a play, or you'll see a play, and I don't know if well, this is just my mind, looking through it, and I'm being like, how much more you could enhance this so much more if you added in a trick, or if you added in an illusion, and not come right out and be like, hey everybody, in the middle of this play, here's a magic trick, but do this in a way where you're pulling off an effect on stage. Because if anybody who goes to any modern day movie right now, even like when movies were first invented, they still had effects, but there is not one film that you will watch in a movie theater now that does not at least have one special effect in it, whether that's being green screened in, or they're removing something in post, or they're adding something, or even up to explosions and all that type of stuff. That all happens in movies and everything, and that is what the entertainment is now. And so it is hard to compete with that, but if you add these elements, these magical elements into your plays and into your musicals, you can add those type of special effects that you'd think, I can only see this in a magic show or in a movie. You can add those type of elements into a play.
Here's the case in point that comes to my mind. Did you see The Little Mermaid the first time they did it at Tuacahn?
I did not. I worked it the third time they did it.
But. So they had things like the stage would go dark, and a little glow-in-the-dark thing would twirl across the whole stage, and then someone else would have it in their hand, but it would twirl as if it were on the end of a stick, and then, once the lights came up, there'd be no stick. So Tuacahn was doing magic things, and everyone was talking about it. So I think you're right on.
Yes, and I watched last year when they did Matilda, I got to work that show. It was a blast. But in Matilda, for those of you who have seen Matilda and know the story, there's an escapologist. Well, they had him doing magic tricks they had him rehearsing with one of his assistants doing magic tricks on stage, but then the actor, I guess, didn't feel like he could do it, and so he kind of was like, I don't want to do this anymore, so they cut it. And it was actually one of the tricks that we did here during Imaginarium, which was the sub-trunk. They were doing that on stage, and he didn't want to do that, so they cut it. And I ended up getting the sub-trunk at the end of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they closed the show, it's at home right now, and I'm using it. I'm, using it in illusion or whatever. But I always wonder how much more the audience would have reacted if that trick had still been there. Because in the beginning, he walks up on stage, and then his wife, the acrobat, she flew in on a circus ring, and she landed down, and they did their little bow thing, and then they left. But what was originally going to happen was he was going to come up on stage, get locked in the box. She was going to fly in on the ring to the top of the box, and then they hold up the sheet and they switch places. And then she gets out of the box. That would have been so much more dramatic and so much more, if they had added that trick into there and had kept it in there. Because originally that was the idea, and then they cut it. So there's things like that where you can enhance the story. In that place, when a trick makes perfect sense, then you can add that in there. But in other places where there's not a certain like a certain effect that is stated, that's saying like, oh, this is going to happen, this is a magic trick or whatever, but it has something else that is a storytelling element that can be pulled off using magic techniques or magic methods, then that's when it can really enhance your story. And people won't realize, oh, I just saw a magic trick, I just saw an illusion. They'll be like, oh, that was a great effect. But that's something that has happened. Magic and theater has pulled from each other all the time. There's techniques in theater that magicians use, and there's techniques that magicians use that theater uses. The more you start looking into this stuff and going back through some of the older books and reading stuff, like I do perform some of the newer magic tricks, but I like the old stuff because of my persona, which is a steampunk Victorian illusionist. So all of my magic tricks tend to pull out of older books and stuff like that. But once you start reading those books, you actually start seeing the tricks and the stuff used in both theater and magic to create these effects. So,
Jonah, it's always so interesting talking to you. I mean, you've studied this stuff for a long time. It's it's your main focus, and
yes, this has been my passion since.
Yeah, it really shows. I mean, you've taught me things. I mean, you taught me how to produce a magic show.
Yeah, I showed them all about this stuff back here.
So I just want to thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're a good teacher, and you're very nice for telling me how all those magic tricks work, except for the ones tonight.
Well, I tell him that stuff off air, so.
Yeah.
It turns out that when he sponsors a trick in your show, you kind of have to tell him how it works.
Yeah.
When you get people that are sponsoring a certain thing or whatever, then it's like, I could probably tell you that. But since he is kind of a consultant as far as because Chris, you have a wonderful sense of theater, as in I don't know if this would play to an audience. I don't know if this would work in this setting. So having you as a consultant and being there to be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Or bounce ideas off of you is really great. And sometimes that requires you to know how the trick works.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Takes two to tango, as they say. With that, we're very grateful that you've joined us tonight. I can see that there's still some people watching, but we're going to end it for tonight. See you next week. We've got the Fergusons on next week. The Fergusons are a family band. They've got a grand harp. They play the piano. The kids play other instruments, I believe. That's going to be coming out as an announcement in a couple days, everyone. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me, the host, Chris Whiteside, in another Kayenta Live. And thank you, Jonah, for being on here. Good night.
Good night. Have fun. Sleep tight.